Alrighty. Intro song done. Undefined on Discord done. Transition on OBS done.
Whoa!
Wow.
Hello!
Wow. Look at all the buttons I just pushed. Oh my god. The animation. Damn, this guest is ready. This guest is ready. This might be one of the most well prepped guests I've ever had.
Oh no, I see where this is going.
When I say well prepped, I don't know. I'm just saying that. Look at their animations. But hello everyone, welcome back to the Neon Podcast. It's a back-to-back day week of podcasts with VTubers. Oh God, I just saw.
You didn't see that. You didn't see that. You didn't see that.
Thank you for the hydrate, Spalding. I just took a little swig of my water. So everyone say hydrate. I know it's really warm. And especially for myself, with the podcast being early in the day, sun's still up here on the West Coast, so quite warm here in LA. But anyways, episode 172. We're that much closer to my end of the year goal of 180. But anyways, hello everyone. If you're new here and you're joining me today, I'm Neon. It's my podcast. It's the Neon Podcast. What do we talk about here? Whatever the crap we want about, as long as we don't get canceled. Okay. But
oh,
no. Anyways, good job on first, Kane. Good job second, Blue. And but I'm gonna let this person, unbeknownst to you all in chat, who this person might be. So if you want to give yourself a little self-introduction, please go ahead.
Well, hi there. I'm Blue. I'm your local magical girl VTuber who plays way too much ranked Valorant and ranked TFT. Speaking of which, I kind of made us late because I was playing a game of TFT. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm here and I like watching VCT and stuff. Yeah, thanks for having me on, Neon.
No, thank you for coming on through. I'm like, I have this backlog of people to ask, and you've been on my backlog to ask, and then I asked, and then I forgot to follow up for like a month. I went, oh damn it.
Yeah, because you asked on my stream in chat, and I was like, yeah, I'd be down, just message me, and then it took forever, but it's fine.
Look, this is what happens when I ask people. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do a big wave of asking people to be on, but then I forget who I asked, but I'm just like, I get caught up with other things because the time when I asked you, I got reached out by one of my other friends. They're like, hey, can you want to be a shoutcaster for this tournament? I went, oh hell yeah, I'm down. And I ended up getting busy for that week, and I think that was the same week where I asked a bunch of people, and I went, oh crap, I need to gather up my thoughts again. So yeah, anyways, This is Blue, everyone. She's great.
I'm something.
Okay, see that if you looked at I changed I couldn't think of a great title, but the title is Orange Compliments Blue, right? We're complementary colors, but that's also your name, and I'm just gonna compliment you until I start teasing about you, and then yeah, it's gonna be a great time.
Oh hell yeah!
So
I'm down. Let's do it.
So yeah, this is Blue. I mean, do you want, other than a self-introduction? Oh my god, you even have the little heart hands. That's adorable.
I do have finger hearts. I got finger hearts.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh my gosh, your model's also really, really great, by the way. So
oh, thank you.
So I mean, you're not little. You're a magical girl. I said little. I don't know.
You're a little magical girl.
Yeah, no. Sorry. You're a magical girl. I mean, let's just start from where it starts, even before how I met you, because obviously people exist before me. The self-centered center of the universe, owner of this podcast, goes. People have their own lives. So, what got you into streaming? Who are you, Blue? Why Blue? Why is your name a color?
Yeah, so like we got BN before Neon, AN after Neon, you know?
Yo, I'm gonna use that shit now. Holy, that's actually so good. What the heck?
Yeah. You're welcome. I charge money for consulting. I'm just kidding. Yeah, so what was your question? Like, who am I?
Yeah, like, who are you? What do you have lore, or do you just like, I'm a magical girl, I existed, yada yada, or do you not have lore? Are you not that type of VTuber?
I do have some lore, but I don't talk about it that much actually. So only some people I think know it. But like basically, I love reading webtoons and stuff, and a lot of the webtoon tropes is like isekai,
Right.
isekai. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
So yeah, and I love magical girls. Like everyone talks about Sailor Moon, but like Tokyo Mew was my favorite growing up, so really enjoyed that.
Mm-mm-mm.
But basically, my lore is like, yeah, I saved the world one time, and then I was like, I'm done, and I'm really lazy. I'm gonna take a break, and then I landed here in this world, and I'm like, hell no, I'm not going through that again. So I'm just gonna chill and play games and stream. So that's what I'm doing.
Nice. You reverse isekai into our world, and now you play Valorant and TFT amongst other things.
Yeah, I'm trying to save the world in a different way. It's not really working out, but it's only so much I can do.
Oh my gosh. And I I don't know how you're gonna save the world that way, but I get
Stopping toxic gamers from gaming, get them banned, and
I
tell them to be nice.
I was gonna say that. I was like, if you make someone rage quit and they stop playing the game, I guess you are doing us a service.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so as far as magical girl powers, Maho Shoujo powers, what you got? What you got for me?
For like lore or like
However you want to
or just in
interpret that
general.
question.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I got something. Let's see if this is gonna work. Maybe not. Um, hold on. Gives me 1 second.
Take your time. Take your time.
Okay, so I don't know. Chat might not have been able to hear that, but the little white bird on my shoulder, that's Hyungi. He's kind of a little piece of shit right now. Like he's really toxic, but
Ooh.
he was, all the magical girls that got like companions and shit, right? So
Uh-huh.
he's my little companion. But when I got isekai'd here, it was alone, and then he found me, and then he's just super toxic, and I don't know why.
What the heck?
So, anyways, yeah, he's an instalock jet main who thinks he's radiant and is like a one trick op user, and so basically your worst nightmares. Um, but yeah, that's all on the lore side. In terms of like why I started streaming, I actually started off streaming in 2000, god, what was it, 18 or 19? I don't remember, it's been too
Oh,
long. Yeah,
okay.
and I was doing no face cam, so I was in just a bodiless voice being like, hey, I'm gaming, and I got a really scuffed mic. And um take a guess what game I first started playing and like what I was known for.
Okay, let me guess.
Should I give you a
2018.
hint?
Hold on, hold on. Tell me if I'm at least give me a warm, hot or
Okay.
cold. What was hot in 2018? TFT was just
It was
I
kind of
don't think it's
niche. It was
that
kind of niche.
it's not okay. If it's niche, that means it wasn't a battle royale, so it's not PUBG, it's not Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
Tarkov?
No, okay, I'm gonna give you a hint. It was a Nintendo game.
Nintendo game. Nintendo game. Not and no, Animal Crossing was COVID. Nintendo. Retro or modern?
Modern on the Switch.
Modern on the Switch. Oh no, Fire Emblem was 2019. Hmm. Switch modern. I'm just gonna say Smash. You play Smash?
You're close. You're close. So I did used to play some Smash, but like not. That was not my main game. My
Hmm.
main game was Splatoon. Splatoon
Oh,
2.
dang it. Oh,
So
dang it. That was
yeah,
within my scope of guesses, but not close enough. Oh,
yep. Used
nice.
to play a shooter game as a squid kid, and yeah, so that's what I started off as. Met a lot of people. At one point I switched to Dead by Daylight, which is a complete 180 from Splatoon.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then I 180'd again into Valorant basically. So I've been all over the place. And yeah, around the time I found Valorant, I had started hearing more about VTubers and I was like, wow, this is really cool. It's interesting because I did want to represent myself in a way that wasn't using like webcam or like face cam or whatever. So
Mhm.
started doing research into that because I did know about like let's say Neanners for a while.
Mhm.
Because I'm acquaintance slash pals with her editor who used to edit for Zero, speaking of Smash. Um And yeah, he's really cool. And I was like, hey, do you know how like VTubers work and like where she got this model and like how he's like, nope, I have no fucking idea. And I'm like, great, okay, just put that on the back burner. Like later on, VTubers were starting to blow up more, and I'm like, okay, there seems like there's more resources now. It seems more accessible. So, yep, commissioned someone, and then it took me like several months to actually debut, which I debuted around my birthday, and
Hmm.
that was 2 years ago. Yeah, it was 2022, I think. I don't
Okay.
know. Time is not real.
It's,
Like,
it's
I
a it's a
genuinely don't.
social construct. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, like who fucking knows? I'm sorry. I should have asked about swearing. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's totally fine.
I was gonna say you probably would have warned me because you've heard me swear and stuff
Yeah,
before in
trust me.
stream. So
That's not gonna get you canceled.
okay,
Unless you
great. Well,
until you throw out like a slur. That's different.
yeah. Well, that's not swearing,
That's not
right? That's
swearing. Yeah.
that's its own category. Um, but yeah, that's basically the lore in terms of like how I started streaming, that kind of journey, and then like becoming a VTuber.
Mm,
TLDR.
So it's like you actually didn't you weren't even a flesh tuber as as the VTuber community uses that term. You were just no face cam at all. You just had like an icon on your channel, nothing like that.
Yeah, I mean, and before it was like a blue bird, and since then I was still going by blue. I still had the username, by the way, blue, btwblue, however you want to say it.
Hmm.
Because when I figured that I was going to start streaming all the way back in 2000, uh, God, 18, 19, whatever year it was,
Okay.
I was like, okay, I do want to have kind of a brand. And so I was intentional about that. And so I haven't had to rebrand in that way. Um, and
Mm.
blue is my favorite color, and I'm like, oh, it's simple, it's short, it's sweet, that's why I'll go with blue. But, everyone chooses blue as a name, I feel like, when it comes to a color. So maybe that wasn't the smartest decision. Um, but it's all good.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you stood out. I feel like amongst people because it's when people say blue, I feel like it's not used as like a single word name. I know some people
Hmm.
be like, oh, they use it as an adjective or bluey or something, like the Disney Australian dog show, whatever, bluey. But
I have met so many blues. So
really,
many. Yeah, like we're making an army of blues. Like unironically, like it has to be like at least 20, I feel like, over the past 5 years. I did look, by the way, my streaming anniversary, September 6th, 2019. That's coming right up. So 5 years.
hey, let's go. Okay,
Yay.
okay. So that's actually really interesting because you say that I was like, I don't know any other blues. Maybe it's just one of those things where because you know your username and your tag or whatever, you end up encountering people with very similar names. Because
Mm,
similar to you, right? I'm like, oh yeah, neon is a very common word or name nickname. I'm like, I've never gotten neon by itself as a username ever on any platform. But then once I started VTube and meeting other people, I'm like, oh, there's a neon, there's another neon, there's a neo, there's a neo
mm-hmm.
NEIO. I'm just like, oh
Yeah.
geez, yeah. So
Nothing's original, unfortunately. But you also got Neon and Valorant too. So
oh
like, I
my god.
mean,
Okay. I'm gonna talk about this because I know you play Valorant. So what was funny, right? I'm like, oh yeah, I played Valorant when it was beta and then it got released. I'm like, cool, cool. And then they announced this new agent. I'm like, oh cool. What's the agent called? Neon. Oh, damn, dude. That sucks. I mean, that sucks for, me, because when I'm in game and people be like, Neon over here, I'm like, what? I'm over here. I went, oh, the
yeah,
enemy team. So I
yeah.
occasionally get confused when like I'm calming with my friends and I'm just like, oh yeah, neon here, neon there. I'm like, I'm right here. I need to
Well,
stop.
you just have to be a Neon main, and then it will be okay, maybe.
Maybe it was funny because I thought about it but then at the time, neon for the longest was not good. Right. So, and
Mm-hmm.
then I also just don't even play Valorant that much. So that doubled the reason for me not to even unlock neon because I'm just like, I'm just going to play agents that I feel like are easy. And I don't have
Like
to think that
who?
much. I
Let's hear
don't,
who's easy.
I think Brim is relatively easy.
Yeah, that's fair. I think for Smokes, he's probably the easiest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just play Sage and Cipher. I think it's just all about cages
I was
sometimes.
gonna say Cypher's not easy, in my opinion. And I would agree with you on Sage, but other people disagree because Yeah, her kit is so valuable. But
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah, that's straightforward. It's straightforward,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, it's straightforward. For a beginner, like you don't have to know the advanced stuff to make use of it, type of thing, right? You to
Mhm. Mhm.
maximize. Um, so there's that. But then, okay, and then suddenly, this recent couple patches, all the other duelists get nerfed. Neon gets buffed. So then I have to play with a bunch of more neons, and even, as a shoutcaster, I have to cast it. So it's really funny. But again, I don't even
The
have the
neon
agent
army.
unlocked. Exactly,
You don't
exactly.
have her unlocked? What?
Look,
Huh?
I'm like level 29 in Valorant. I've on and off this game since beta. What does that tell you about
Oh
how much I
my
play this game?
god. Okay, fine.
Okay.
Fine.
I've unlocked like
Okay.
4 agents,
I'm
5
like
agents.
level 340 something. So
Yeah, it's fine.
get on my level scrub. I'm just kidding.
Hey, I'm a league gamer, I play.
Oh,
And to be fair, I
ew.
played before Valorant. I was a CS:GO player. So then when
Uh-huh.
Valorant came over, I'm like, CS is kind of dying a little bit. Not the highest. People getting into this Valorant train, and then yeah, all sorts of things. But my point is the funniest part about Neon being released is that not only do we share the same moniker, but what was really funny, people who know me, because I also flesh tube, it's not like a surprise when I look like and my actual name and stuff, is also that they were Filipino. I'm like, oh my god,
Mm, that's
why?
hilarious,
Why?
actually.
And then
I
they're
mean, do you think Riot just saw you and they're like, "Yep, there we go."
exactly. They're like, I like this Filipino guy. Light show neon, I like it. Ooh, you know what?
Mm.
Lights. What powers lights? Electricity. Sheesh. We can't make it the
Yeah.
same though. Make them a female. Make them a female.
Yeah, with
Damn.
like the Pikachu hair, the Sonic
Exactly.
Chew hair, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. And another funny story. So that thing I told you about, like I was asked to shoutcast for a tournament. I ended up
Mhm.
shoutcasting grand finals because over there I'm like I would consider myself one of the better amateur casters. The person I ended up casting with, his name is Sage Ninja. So the two
Oh.
casters for the grand finals were Neon and
Oh,
Sage. I'm like,
that's
that's
hilarious.
hilarious.
Yeah,
So
someone should have drawn art of you guys, just be like Neon and Sage casting. Cute.
so yeah, okay. So you started back in 2018, 2019. So like
Yeah,
was your streaming
2019.
anniversary your affiliate anniversary or just overall streaming anniversary?
Wait, sorry. My brain shut down. Can you say that again?
So the September anniversary, that's your streaming
Uh-huh.
anniversary or your
Yes.
affiliate anniversary?
Okay, got it. Yes. So my streaming anniversary is September 6th for stream
Mm-hmm.
2019. My affiliate anniversary is November 22nd,
Oh, okay.
2019. And then my VTuber debut anniversary, May 15th, 2022.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Thank
Got it.
God Past Blue was like, yeah, I better write this shit down on my about page because
Oh my goodness.
it's gone. It's gone. It's not in my head anymore otherwise.
Okay. So for you, what got you into streaming in the first place? Because you like the color blue. I feel like that wasn't obvious, but you said you streamed Splatoon and you Switch games. I feel like
Yep.
there's an extra step to streaming when you have a console and getting a capture card. That's the extra effort. So
Yeah, there is.
what what got you into streaming? Because there was an obvious choice. It's not like you're a PC gamer and you were bored and you just streamed because your friends asked you to stream or something, right? Like there was a clear decision made when you started doing this. So
Yeah, no, that's like a really good question, I think. So I was playing a lot of Splatoon
mm-hmm.
just in my free time on my couch, on the TV, and I was like, man, I'm playing so much Splatoon. And I used to like compete actually,
Mm,
in some Splatoon tourneys, and I was like, man, maybe I should do something with this time that I'm playing Splatoon and not just sit on my ass and play and be like, I'm just playing Splatoon. And so I was like, I'm a very social person, if you can't tell.
mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, I could do streaming too because like you can talk to people and like entertain people and like game. So like then it's like two birds with one stone, right? And you're not just like, oh, I'm just sitting on the couch playing a game for hours.
Right, right.
Like when you're streaming, you feel like, oh, I'm talking to people, socializing a little bit, and like people maybe want to watch, and you're not just again, yeah, quote unquote wasting hours just by playing a game.
Gotcha, gotcha. And you were just like, I'm gonna just put this up on the internet for the sake of putting it up on there. You didn't have like a plan
Yeah.
going into it.
Well, I had some like a couple people or friends who I knew who had streamed, and I was like, oh, cool, whatever. But like, yeah, I don't know. My plan was just to have fun and have a good time, and I'm like, if people like it, they'll stay, and if not, whatever. And I met a lot of friends like through Splatoon and streaming, and like people who I'm still friends with actually today.
Mm,
After all
mm.
this time, which is pretty impressive, especially for like an internet friendship, I think to last 5 years. Um, yeah, so I think it's been pretty successful overall. Like obviously I'm still not partner and it's not like my job or living, but like that's very hard to obtain.
Right.
Um unless again you kind of have that pop off or like you're really creative and funny and this and that, and I'm just here to vibe. I'm more of like that kind of put me on in the background or something and like maybe I'll scream in Valorant or whatever and it's like I'm sorry because that's probably distracting. But like yeah, I think that's kind of what people say when they come to my stream. They're like, oh, it's a nice place to hang out.
Yeah, I would say that for sure. I because you're it depending obviously depends on the game, but you're also just very like you said social, but you also like have good interactions with chat. I'm over here like, oh, I'm glad I got to stop by, and I just have strike up a conversation for a good couple minutes. I'm like, hey, blue.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
No, 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 thank you, thank you. And to go with along those lines, right? Um, for you changing content because okay, we'll go into like the growth of it, right? So um basically you started off Splatoon and you switched to Dead by Daylight. I don't like on terms of content you called it a 180. I think it's cool, it's fine. I mean 180 happens, but would you consider yourself um I'd say not a variety streamer, but when you stream, do you really just like to focus on that one game, or were you just like playing whatever you wanted on stream too?
Yeah, that's a good question. So with Splatoon and stuff, it was like kind of my one game, but I would occasionally play like Smash or like if there's a new Pokemon game that came out, I'd play that.
Hmm.
And then of course Animal Crossing when that came out. And then also when COVID hit, I lost my job, so I was like, I'll just stream for 8 hours a day, I guess, and pretend I have a job. And I was playing Persona 5. So
Oh.
I went through that and yeah, and ended up beating that. So I was kind of variety, and I think at one point I was calling myself variety. And then I just got really, really burnt out from Splatoon. And I
Mm,
was
mm.
playing Dead by Daylight with some friends off stream, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna start streaming it. And I honestly think that if I had kept with Splatoon, I actually probably would have hit partner like pretty quickly.
Oh,
Um,
really?
Within a couple years. Yeah, like my average viewers were climbing, my follows were climbing, I was becoming more well known Splatoon community. Like yeah, it was good, and then I decided to tank it all by playing Dead by Daylight, and then, like, my average viewers went from, like, probably around 20 to 30 or something at the time, down to, like, 3.
Uh,
You know what I mean? Like, it was basically,
oh.
like, starting from scratch, even though I still had, like, let's say around, I don't know, 1,200 followers, 1,300 followers at the time, like, I played Dead by Daylight for probably like, I don't know, a year before becoming a VTuber, and I only gained like 100 to 200 followers in that whole time. And I was still streaming
Mm.
around the same amount. Like it was just kind of a complete reset almost.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
which was totally fine, because I'm not doing this again to like just hit partner or like grow. Like, sure, that's nice, but like I'm more of the along for the journey kind of thing when it comes to streaming and during the experience.
nice. Okay. That's cool. I mean, I respect it. And I respect the grind regardless because you're like I could have done it, but I'm going to do this other stuff. That's cool.
Yeah,
You're
I
doing
was going
you.
crazy playing Splatoon, and I don't think it was enjoyable to watch, you know what I mean? And I
How
think that
crazy.
just like, oh my god, just nonstop complaining and being like, "Oh, this is such bullshit that I died and I lost this much whatever
Okay.
the the rating was," you know what I mean? Versus like LP or RR and Valorant and League and TFT, and I was just like, "Nope." Just getting upset, and it was just not fun, and I really don't think it was fun to watch. So it's like, nope, I'm just gonna do what makes me happy. And I think a lot of streamers who are kind of like a one trick for a game do run into that. At some point, you get burnt out, right,
Right,
from the
right.
game you're playing.
Mhm.
And then they're like, what do I do? Do I just switch or do I keep playing this even though it makes me unhappy? And like, yeah, I feel like you can tell, when creators keep playing it and it's like they're not having fun anymore and it's not entertaining. So it's like kind of either way, it's like a lose-lose situation almost.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Except
Hmm.
if you're having fun playing it, then that's a win, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And Kane, right? Exactly. The grind set is real. Especially, dude, Splatoon players for real. Those are the dedicated ones because they're like, yo, I'm gonna keep playing this on the Switch. And I watched
Yeah.
my friend was like into competitive Splatoon, and she would send me stuff too, and I'm like, yo, this kind of goes hard.
Mhm.
So,
No, like it was a very serious esports scene in its own way,
mm,
honestly. But you'd have like one team who would still dominate all of NA, you know?
mm-hmm,
It's
mm-hmm.
like, okay. And I think they won so many copies of arms because that was like one of the prizes and they kept winning it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh my goodness. The way to resell, make
Mm,
money. Oh
mm-hmm.
my goodness. Well, that's interesting. Like Splatoon too. Okay. What kind of loadout did you use most in Splatoon?
I was a dualies main.
Oh,
Um, yeah, dualies, or I would use the Kenza. Was it not Kenza? Something like that. Splatter shot, K
mm,
shot. Um, yeah,
nice. Nice, nice.
I think that's what I mostly play. There are other guns that I try or weapons or whatever, and I just don't. I don't know.
Not for
Actually, I
you.
used to be like an arrow spray main too,
Oh,
and then I
okay.
got really bored of it because I am that type of person. I feel like this in Valorant too, where I always focus on like the objective. So
Hmm.
if it's like, oh, gotta get spray as much turf as possible or get the zone or whatever, I'm like, I want a weapon that's good at doing that.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, some people would go for kills and I'm like, nope, I'm doing the objective. And yes, same thing in Valorant, where it's like, I got the spike, I'm planting the spike, like,
Right, 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 right.
yeah.
It's funny. Like me, I'm a very similar way when it comes to gameplay for games where it's like I like doing objective first, unless I personally just feel super super greedy and selfish and just like to pop off and show off. Uh,
Yep.
and like in those games where I'm like, look, you guys can carry, but I'm gonna carry in my own way. I like to in like MMOs, RPGs. I like playing tank. It ain't flashy, it ain't high damage, but someone's got to do the work. In
Mm-hmm.
League, I'm the support player. I'm like support main, but I do all the shot calling. I do all the like extra stuff. I'm not doing damage, but it's gonna look cool later. Like you'll appreciate me. So yes, yes. Who's this? Who did? That oh hi Nerf. Hello. Hello, that is
It's
blue.
Nerf.
It's blue. And yeah, it's like I get it. And it's also but at the same time, because sometimes when I don't want to invest the time into like raw mechanics or the extra stuff, like that's why my aim would suffer in Valorant and I'm not good. But I'll understand the macro behind it, be like, oh yeah, push the site, let's do this, do that, put that here and stuff. But I can't shoot for my life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Yeah, it's
goodness.
hard.
So that's nice. That's good. Interesting to hear that you're the objective first type of player among a team. So
Yeah, I know. And I feel like that's why I do a lot of support roles and things like that. And I'm just like, oh, God, I kind of wish I wasn't like that. But like, I feel like the game needs it though,
it
you
it
know?
it does. It does. It goes underappreciated a lot of times. Trust me, I would know.
Mm-hmm.
I would know.
Yeah.
Okay. So to go past that, so you went to Dead by Daylight. That was a thing. I feel like they revamped their whole system from when it came out. So I feel
Yep.
like the basics is there, but all the extra stuff is completely different. Then you switched over to TFT and Valorant and being a VTuber. Which came first, the Riot games or the VTuber?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think I was playing a little bit of Valorant actually before I did do my VTuber debut. But like it was kind of that dime in a bucket, right? Where it's just like, oh yeah, there's all these people who don't have any kind of model or like camera and they're just faceless people playing Valorant. So I
Uh-huh.
had like again very low viewership and I'm like, oh god, it's like starting again from scratch. Like I did with DVD. Which I was willing to do because I'm just like, yeah, if it's a new game, I'm learning it, it's fun. And then Valorant and VTubers, there's a big overlap there in
There is.
the audience and interest. So yeah, that did help. And then TFT was actually a much more recent development. I only started playing TFT in December of last year, so it's only been like 8 months.
Oh, okay. So that's less than a year is not bad for TFT. I know people who just been playing it since for so long. Um, but then okay, 8 months, got it.
Yep, and I got so my first set was set 10, Remix Rumble, and I love the music theme, which I think finally got me to play it. But I also wanted to play it because I was watching the Vegas um one with the TFT Open because ESG got a support, disguised, and they went, and I was like, I have no idea what the fuck is happening. So I want to try playing TFT, and I did, and I actually got Diamond 1 my first set, and that was my first time I ever played an auto battler game like this. So very proud of myself. And I was like one game off of Masters, and then the set ended.
Oh, right
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Oh well. Next time, maybe this set. I don't know. I haven't played that much because I was in the box boot camp. I got burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I got eliminated, I was like, I need a break. And then I was so fucking tired of Syndra reroll. Ugh, stop it. And then they patched it. And now it's Ari reroll. Ugh. And then they kind of patched it. And now I found a new comp thanks to Robin songs. Thanks, Robin. You're the best. And I've gotten to first and a third in my 3 times playing it. So I'm like, great. I'm just gonna keep forcing this meta or this comp.
Nice.
Give me the free LP.
Nice. Nice. So then, okay, so it came hand in hand. I get that. Okay. So that's interesting because you said it took months for you to get your model and your design done. Is this your first model?
Yep, this is my yeah. It's not my only one because I do have different models you might have seen.
Hmm.
But this is like in terms of when you think of a VTuber model, like this is my original and like my main one.
Okay. 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 Before we get into more game stuff, what inspired the design outside of being blue? And why magical oh, you said why earlier actually. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay. But what's walk me through some of your design choices. You don't have to show it, but I'm just like, what are some things that really inspired you to do you know?
Yeah, that's a great question. So again, I just love the magical girl aspect, but I love like celestial and starry things.
Mhm.
So that's how I got there with like you look at the little pom poms in my hair, they have the star and a moon, and then my earrings are like the little sparkles, and I
I
got a
didn't
choker that has a moon on it.
I didn't notice those
Yeah.
things had it on your pom-poms. Now I'm like, this is why I ask. I'm just like, ooh, creative choices. I
Yeah,
like.
yeah, and like I got the little and like my bangs, they kind of got like these little starry kind of details, and um
Mm.
yeah, I know it's funny because the more I look at my model, I'm like not very blue, it's very pastel and like more gray almost. And then the same like if you look at my outfit, which I am Korean, so I decided to go with a hanbok.
Mm.
Here, I will try to show it off. I'll stand on the desk. Hold on. Let me see what it looks like. Is it working?
It's
I
working.
gotta
It's
wait till
working.
the catches up.
It's
Oh,
working. It's
perfect.
working.
So, yeah. So I have this whole. You don't really get to see it that often, right? Because I use like the top part of
Right.
it.
Right.
But I'm wearing a hanbok. Um, and you got some design on my skirt, and like I really like birds, so I gave them like kind of a mood board from Pinterest, and my sleeves kind of have that feather like aspect,
Wait,
and then
a moon board.
a mood board. I'm sorry. Why did I say moon? I'm sorry.
I
Sorry,
mean,
mood.
either way, I still don't know what that is.
Oh, you don't know what a mood board is? Really?
No.
Also, the sleeves got cut off because of the green screen, so it's too transparent. Sorry about that.
Don't worry about
But
it.
a mood board is like if you take something on Pinterest, doesn't have to be Pinterest, and you find different images where you're like, oh, I like that, I like this, I like that.
Mm.
So like, maybe like an image of a bunch of galaxies and stars, and then another image of like a magical girl, and then like design of like a hanbok that's like shimmery, and like you put it all together, and like that's a mood board, and you're like, look, these are all the things I like, can you try to combine them to make something,
Oh.
like that. So um yeah.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. That was more self-explanatory than I feel like. Yeah. Okay. That's nice though. That's nice. I appreciate the design. It's very cool.
Yeah, I
Cool,
mean,
personally.
I really like it. I'm very happy with how it turned out, and my model artist I feel like did a really great job. Like the detail is so pretty, and yeah, there are times definitely where I think about getting a different model because I'm like, oh, it'd be cool to have like a streetwear version or like something more casual or like I don't know. But I love the art, and it's also expensive to get another kind of like full body model. So I'm just like, oh, I think I'm fine.
I was gonna ask. I was like, "Are you planning to get a 2.0 or anything like that in the works at all, or nah, you're fine?"
Not unless I just came into a lot of money, like all of a sudden,
Right. Of course. Of course.
randomly, then probably not. Because I mean, again, I really like my original model. I will say, I did because at first I didn't know what was happening with VTubing and how to find like a rigger versus like the artist and like what the difference
Right.
was. So my person did both of them, and again, like they're great artists, but the rigging was very stiff and very basic. So I did end up getting it re-rigged in the future. So that was kind of like a 2.0 in its own way, if that
Right.
makes
Right.
sense. So,
Oh,
yep. Now
okay.
I can do this.
Oh my God, so adorable.
And
Oh my God, she's got the tongue rigging.
yep.
Oh my
And
goodness.
this.
Ah.
So, you know,
Oh my God, not the yandere vibes, the knife and the eye darkening. Ugh.
yeah, isn't it great?
It is. It's honestly so great. It's like the little details
the
that we don't get to see as often. It's just like when it happens and you use it, we're just like, oh, that's some good detail. That's
yeah.
some good stuff right there.
And I have like other toggles that I don't use as much, like this.
Oh, the heart eyes. Okay.
Yeah, and then you can combine it and be like, actually yandere. You know what I mean? Like,
I do. Okay, but then now the question is, can you do yandere VAing, voice acting?
maybe. You want me to try? What should I say?
Uh, hmm. Say say something that, like, let's say you're playing what's the TFT where you have a partner?
Oh, double up?
Yeah, let's say you have double up, but your teammate doesn't want to give you that character.
Oh God. How do I let's see. Yandere can go so many different ways though, right?
Your
Mm.
interpretation.
Okay. Oh fuck. I can't do it on the spot!
Okay,
Now
okay, it's fine, it's fine,
I'm nervous!
it's
Okay.
fine, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We'll come back to it later. Maybe
Okay, okay,
maybe
okay.
we'll do it in
Yeah.
combination with the RR in the post podcast show. Who knows?
Okay,
I
okay,
don't
yeah,
know.
fine. Yeah,
So
alright.
yeah, doctor. Oh no. Okay, so that's really awesome. So that's oh man. So your inspiration to going into VTubers was Nanners, you said earlier, right?
Yeah, so like I saw her model and I was watching her content because this is when Fall Guys was like really big, and so I
Right.
was watching some of her Fall Guys videos, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's really cool, and I'm just like, it's awesome. You can just be like kind of like an anime girl, but you can just make your own original character basically, and like
Mm-hmm.
then you get to play it and it comes to life, which I thought was really fucking awesome. Um, and you can role play, as little or as much as you want. Like, so for me, we were talking about this while we were getting the stream set up, but I'm very like, I'm just me. And like, you asked me, like, oh, how tall is your model? And I'm like, I think she's like this. But like, it's still just a different version of me. You know what I mean? Like,
No, yeah, I
not
get you.
playing a character. Like, this is just me.
No, I feel that, especially for me. Like my model is just me if I were to personify myself in like anime-esque
Exactly.
stuff. So
Exactly.
yeah, yeah,
But I
yeah.
also get to choose, like, I'm a magical girl and this and that
Exactly.
and like
Exactly.
whatever, it's just fun.
No, exactly. No, I get
So,
you. I get you. Especially for like I say now I'm gonna talk about myself. Uh like when I was getting into VTubing, it was always a joke of I got into the VTuber hole in 2020, Hololive and all that other stuff. And then
mm,
I was already streaming though, because I was like, I was a flesh tuber, yada yada. I've been on the platform for a long ass time. How
yep.
long? A long time. You're like a long time. So people were saying, and because I was pretty adamant about me liking VTubers and being an anime and stuff, and people were making VTubers for everything, all the corporate ones, right? They're
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
okay, so Neon, you're gonna be a VTuber, right? I went, haha, you're funny, dude. I'm not gonna be a VTuber. You're silly. I'm just gonna be an enjoyer, an enthusiast, and keep flesh tubing. And then I introduced one of my other friends who's a streamer, who had no idea what VTubers was. Like they were into anime and that stuff, but they didn't know about VTubers. Introduced to them into the rabbit hole. They got themselves down into it like a different route, but just as deep. And then they became a VTuber. I'm like, whoa, that was a fast turnaround. They're like, how'd you do
Yeah.
that? They're like, oh, you did this and this. I was like, how much? I was like, it was mostly free. You just got to put the stuff in. I went, free, say
Yeah.
less. So then,
Yeah, absolutely.
so then I was like, all right, that's why I have this model. I paid, well, mine wasn't completely free because hair is difficult as hell on Vroid.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
one of exactly. Hi. So I commissioned someone on Fiverr to do the hair, and I like the hair. It's really nice. It's pretty much what I wanted for a Vroid model. But yeah,
Yeah,
everything else
awesome.
is oh, thank you. Everything else was pretty much free, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I decided, you know what? This isn't a big secret, but I'm keeping the design a secret. But I'm gonna have a 2.0 coming within the next couple or soon,
Ooh,
so I'm gonna re-debut
let's go.
2.0. So that's gonna be exciting
Hell
stuff.
yeah.
Soria, thank you for the hydrate. Thank you. How are you? But yeah, and then that's where, because since this was free and it was like, you know, I only had basic assets. That's where you said like the thing where you to put yourself into that character that you wanted to be. That's where that design went to. So that's where the 2.0 design's coming into. So.
Awesome. I'm really excited to see it.
Oh, I know. I'll
yeah,
share.
I could do like a form change if you want. I could show like
a form change. Oh.
Yeah, you want to?
Should
I
do whatever you like? I mean, I'm excited. I show everything you got if you want. Oh my god! I don't think I've ever seen this on your stream, or at least I've never caught
really?
it. Yeah, I don't think I've ever caught this. This is adorable. You got your little pom poms look like ears.
Yeah, now I'm floating. Hold on, I gotta like.
Fix it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay, it's hard because I look at the stream and I'm like, oh, there's a little bit of a delay, so I don't know.
Yeah, you're good.
There you go. Now it looks like I'm standing on a box to talk to
you. You're on a little stepping stool, ladder. Oh my god, that's adorable! Oh my god, it's got wings. It flaps.
Yeah, he does have wings. Hold on, where's all my toggles? Are they over here? Oh, I'm Ingy Blue. Yeah. Then. Sorry. Anyways, I don't use I use these models because I have like a redeem that's separate, and then I'll change it for a little bit. So I guess I'm not surprised that you haven't seen some of these, because I have like a bunch of other ones.
Yes, we discussed this high earlier of Yangi being a bully, being the toxic gamer that they are. Oh no.
So pog. But you guys should follow Neon if you haven't followed Neon already. And you know, if you got that Prime, you get the free subs.
If you have Prime, use it on her. Use it on her.
No, use it on Neon.
No, use it on you. No, don't ever. No. Well, thank you for the follow nerf.
Hell yeah.
I appreciate that. But that's adorable. Okay, so it sparkles. Oh, you got little sparkles going on.
Yeah, I'm trying to fix. See, this always happens when I'm like, okay, time to turn it off. I'm like, I don't
know. I can't stop sparkling, y'all. I'm too
sparkling.
good.
I'm just a magical girl. You know?
Oh my god, you got even more small. You're small.
Yeah, I'm a bean. What's up? No dots, head empty.
Not the dot eyes. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Dang, that's hilarious. Oh my goodness.
Hold on, where's
not the crying eyes? Oh
whoa. For me?
Uh-oh.
What'd you say about me, you little bitch? What'd you just say about... Wait, where's the other? There's one I wanted to show you. Hold on. No, that's not it. This one has so many toggles, which is amazing.
I was like, you showed like 5 in a row, 7 in a row. Dizzy eyes, crying. Oh.
Not impressed.
Oh, not the judgmental look. No.
Okay, that was it. I agree about the Ruby vibes nerf. I totally agree. Okay, I'll stop fucking around. I'm sorry, I have disrailed this so much.
No, I'm chilling. This is the tangents where I'm about on the podcast. This is what's great. I'm enjoying the hell out of this. Give me great. Ruby vibes. Yeah, I mean, I take some inspiration from like that genre of things. Cause so the reason this probably gives Ruby vibes is obviously the hair and the 3D esqueness of it. My
Yeah, because V-Roid.
exactly. But my hair in particular was inspired by Young Sun from Soul Calibur 2. He was my favorite
Ooh.
character, and I later found out that he was Korean because I was a kid and I always wanted his
Hell
hair.
yeah.
So I was like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense. That name's absolutely Korean."
More Koreans! More Koreans! Woohoo!
Yes. So yeah, and for the new design, I'm gonna take the hair design a little bit slightly further, and then I'll give you a little sneak, Blue, since we're talking about it. But you
Ooh,
okay? Yes,
yeah.
yes. I'll share it to you, but I can't share it on stream.
Okay,
But
alright.
uh,
NDA,
and
NDA.
if I see a leak later, I know who leaked it.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a list of all the other people with NDAs, and they haven't leaked so far. Okay.
I mean, speaking of, I feel like that kind of leads to topic of like current trends on Twitter right now, which is like talking about the V Shoujo applications.
Okay.
Everyone is like talking about it. It's like stop talking about it, please.
Okay, you're gonna have to fill me in on some stuff.
Okay, okay,
All
okay.
I know about the news on Twitter, because I'm one of those people that when it comes to thank you for the like, Soria, that comes to stuff, and it becomes things that pop on my feed through people that aren't even like my followers or mutuals. It just gets
Mm-hmm.
it gets picked up by the algorithm. People start liking it. All I see is the V Shoujo. It's like, oh, applications are now closed. We've contacted people for the next process, and then people are just posting like there are audition videos or whatever in response. We're like, oh, if I
Mm-hmm.
didn't make it. So you want to run that by me? Like the
Yeah,
context.
so it's basically what you said, except generally it's like kind of not an unspoken rule. Like I think it's common knowledge for people who have been in the VTuber community a while and like follow corpos know that like um you're not supposed to talk about that shit. It's like you're not supposed to say you audition, you're not supposed to say if you didn't make it to the next round, you're
Oh,
definitely not
right.
supposed to say if you made it to the next round. All of it is just like, oh, you shouldn't have said that. Um and yes, there's been some kind of mix of like, oh, a V Shoujo member, which I think was Zen, was like, yeah, you should say if you audition, like, I want to know or whatever. But like, generally speaking, I think it is a red flag for corporate VTuber agencies when they see people just being like, yep, they're like, okay, no, you can't say like we can't trust you basically. Like you're gonna leak stuff.
Oh.
So yeah, tough. But it's kind of like it could be a myth, I guess, but I probably leaning on erring on the side of caution. It's
Hmm.
probably not doing you any favors, unfortunately. Um, I do love seeing some of these audition videos though because they are so well made.
I
Like people
know.
did such a good job.
I know. I see someone pass by. I watch them. I went, wait a minute. This is really nice. What
Yeah,
the heck? These crazy.
I
Like, it
know.
makes sense that these people have production quality to go into Corpo. I'm impressed thoroughly.
Yeah, and it's like, man, maybe you should take this as inspiration or like it's like a learning thing, right? To be like, oh, I can be very creative with my content and like I shouldn't necessarily just use it for like an audition video. Like I should just do this for my content in general because
Hmm.
it's so fucking creative and people, yeah, I love it.
That's so awesome. I was like, I know it's taboo, but did you apply?
No, I actually didn't.
Okay.
I got way too busy and I was like, no, I same thing of like I'm just doing my own thing right now. I'm chilling.
Okay, for sure. Respect on that. Okay. Man, okay. So this comes to another question for me because you're a VTuber, you're into TFT and VCT. Uh
Mhm.
what shows up on your Twitter feed?
Oh god. I
I
mean,
mean,
everything.
don't self-expose yourself if you don't want to, but
Oh, yeah, but hentai, porn. I'm just kidding.
oh, you too? You too?
um Yeah, I mean, it's because I feel like I'm a reply Andy, so like I don't make that many tweets myself, but I reply to a lot of people. And so a lot of the people I reply to are VCT people, so I see a
Mm.
lot of that, if that makes sense.
No, I get
Of
it.
whether it's like win loss of a game or this is happening or whatever. So it's a lot of VCT, a lot of TFT, a lot of VTuber stuff. I don't ever engage with like VTuber quote unquote drama because I just for me I'm just I to again do my own thing and it's not worth getting involved.
Right. I feel that. I feel that.
So I'm just like, nope, I'm not I don't have a stake in this and I don't want to participate. So I will see it because again, same as what you said, other people you follow or mutuals or whatever, they're liking it and engaging with it. So I'll see it, but I just kind of stay in my own lane when it comes to that kind of thing.
Exactly. Exactly. Me too. I'm just like, I'm good. I'm not involved.
Yeah.
It's not
Like
gonna
I'll
hurt
read
me.
it and then just not do anything about it, I guess. Cuz I like to be informed, I guess. But I just I don't know. Sometimes I hope this doesn't get into cancel territory. But sometimes I see these Google Docs about like, oh, this relationship ended really poorly, but like they wrote a whole doc about it and I'm like that just sounds like a bad relationship, honey. Like I don't know how much relationship experience you have, but like that's normal? Maybe it shouldn't be normal. Is what I've
Yeah.
thought. But like I don't know.
Yeah. Sometimes it's that. Sometimes people are just petty. I literally talked this on yesterday's podcast episode with yesterday's guest, and it's just like some of this just feels really unnecessary to put out into the world of the internet. And I feel
Yeah,
like you
it's
sort
very
of want
high
an
school.
you want an echo chamber of people to
Yeah.
just to be on your side. And like I get it because sometimes I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes I want attention, but I'm not gonna like put someone on blast. Okay, look, I'm honest. I want attention for me, but I'm not gonna try and shit on someone unless it's absolutely completely deserved, like they wronged many people type of thing. If it's me, I'm like, all right, cool, I can keep this between me, my close friends, because I got to tell somebody, and them, because that's just how it is, right?
Yeah.
But then again, I've also feel like, similar to what you said, like the experience, the maturity, the mental capacity of some of these people to not be able to hold it in and post everything on the internet, right?
Yeah, it's because they want to be validated in that echo chamber, like you said. And I agree what Kane said in chat, where it's like, of course, like if they're being abusive or doing something illegal, it's like I get it, you want to people. But like when it's just like, oh, he just started growing more distant from me, and then
Yeah,
we fell
yeah.
apart, and they led me on, and I'm like, huh? Sorry.
That just sounds like you went through a talking phase, honey.
Yeah, or just like again, it happens in relationships, and I feel like you can tell when people are either younger or experienced in that way, where it's like that
Right.
happens, and that happens regardless of whether or not it's a romantic relationship or like a friendship. Like I've had that happen plenty of times with platonic relationships and friendships, where it's just like, oh, we were really close, and then life got in the way, and we just don't talk anymore. But I feel like there are some people, and I have seen this, who will write a whole Google Doc about it, and it's like,
I know people
why?
people are like Twitter. It's just it's the modern day people's diary, except instead of for themselves, it's
Except it's
for
very
everybody.
public.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's just that way. But yeah, Kane, exactly. It's just so much, dude. I agree with that though. Like if when something needs to be said, something needs to be said. But if it's just petty stuff, I'm just like, okay,
Well,
I'm
that's
I'm
the
I'm I'm
problem.
glad you got it out of your system, but
Yeah.
eh.
And I feel like that's the problem with social media, right? Is because you
Mhm.
get validated when you get like likes and engagement and this and that. And a lot of negative stuff can get that. But also it's so easy to just portray things in one way and then there's no rebuttal or no response. It's like, oh, I guess this is gospel now. This is how it is. When it's like that's
Right.
not true. Everything's nuanced. It's not black and white. There's shades of gray. I don't know. As someone who is older, I'm not gonna say how old I am, but I've been through my fair share of stuff. Um, it's hard. So that's why again one of the reasons I just don't engage with it because not it's not productive for me.
No,
I
I
guess.
get you. I get you. I feel like I'm also generally amongst, I'm just gonna assume, around your age. So, because as far as I'm concerned, there's very few people in the different communities that are of similar, if not older than me. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna put that where that is. I think it, it comes with the maturity, it comes with the experience, but especially with like because it's VTubers, right? They like some. I wouldn't say some of them. I don't. I can't even say most of them because it's a blanket statement. But a lot of them are just on the internet a lot, right? So I'm like, how much
Hmm.
experience do you have outside of internet friends?
Exactly.
So
Like they grew up on the internet and that's all they know and that's why they do this. You know what I mean?
exactly. So because it's also, like I said, a lot of these. I wouldn't say a good chunk of these VTubers are younger, right? Some of them
Yes.
out of high school, fresh into college. But it was also during COVID, so that's gonna like they couldn't like
Mhm.
interact with
Mhm.
people in the social world and stuff like that. So I mean, there's so many different factors, and it's hard to say. Be like, I can't blame them, but you're still socializing. But I don't know.
It just
There's just too many
reminds
layers in case to case. But I feel
it
like people
reminds
should
me of
learn.
that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
Go
off.
ahead. Go ahead.
It just reminds me of that meme or like that Twitter post that's like cyberbullying isn't real. Like just close your eyes. Like how is you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah.
cyberbullying it can definitely have a lot of impact. Don't get me wrong and be bad, but it's just like the general in that kind of thing, the meaning
Hmm.
or like you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
just
yeah,
makes
yeah.
me
It's
laugh. I'm just like
so bad.
yeah, but no, it's
Okay.
very valid. Don't get me wrong. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways, I
yeah.
think
Just
Kane asked the question if
yeah.
you want to.
I got it. I got you. I was gonna let you finish. Uh, all right. What do you guys think about situationships in terms of how they categorize as a relationship sort of thing? Because for me, it's all kind of a lie. Right? Like having a potato or an apple, you either have a palm or pomme de terre, okay? It's one or the other, and those two things aren't equivalent unless you're someone who really wants to be in a romantic relationship and are that kind of coping. Um, hmm. Oh, that was multi-layered there for sure. Uh,
Yeah, I have to look up what the definition of situationship is.
uh, let's see. How do they categorize? I feel like situationships are just people. It's just a term that people made nowadays that, like you said, cope without putting the actual hard label on it. And I don't wouldn't say it's a commitment issue, but it's more just like you want to call something something for the sake of putting a name on it. Um,
Well, so I looked at the definition and it says a romantic or sexual relationship that is not considered to be formal or established. Isn't that just friends with benefits? Like that could also be romantic, I guess.
yeah, it could. Yeah, it could definitely be considered that for sure. I feel like that's just another sideways similar name synonym for it. Depends on the category, one category, but depends on the person how they want to define it. Because friends with benefits be like, oh yeah, it's just sex. But there's like friends with
It
benefits,
does say
but
sexual relationship that's not considered to be formal or established.
yeah, but then there's like people who consider friends with benefits also of it's the emotional satisfaction with like no sexual type connotation to it. So uh, I don't know. It's
There's just a lot of labels I think you could say for that, and I see where you're coming from, Kane, but I think it's honestly just like a commitment thing.
like, see, me and Blue were on the same page. It's just a commitment type of
Yeah,
thing. It's like you don't
cuz
you want the benefits without the consequences.
yes, I agree. So actually I have a friend and he's like a little brother to me. And I won't say who he is, but maybe like Nerf would know. But anyways, he's just like I'm like, "Hey, are you and this girl like are you dating? Like what's going on?" He's like, "Oh, like we're not really official." And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, oh, well, we do stuff together, and like, go out on dates and, but like, we're not really official. I'm like, well, are you exclusive? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, so
You're
that sounds
dating.
pretty official to me. Yeah. Like, he didn't use the term situationship or anything, but it was very like, huh? Like, yeah, if
It's a
you're exclusive, like, I think you are dating. Like, I don't know.
yeah.
I get what you're saying, Kane.
I get it exactly. I'm in a relation. Yeah, it's just a label, and then people like because there's a label, you have to do people might consider, oh, when's the official date you got together, yada yada, because I those
Yeah.
are questions I ask, for the sake of hyping up my friends and asking for the tea all the time. But that's different. But
I don't know. Yeah, I just think people, like you said, they want the benefits without the consequences. They just want to be able to have that dynamic, maybe, but not worry about like it being serious, I guess.
yeah, so I
Like,
mean,
I'll introduce you to my homies, we hang out, but like not introducing you to my parents, kind of thing. Like, I don't know.
I get it, I get it. This is where
Or
the
like a
phrase
fling. It's like
"What
a
are
fling.
we?" so popular. Yeah, yeah, basically a fling. What are we? I've seen so many meme videos be like, it's like, yeah, we've been together, we've been basically exclusive for 5 years. It's like, yeah. It's like, are you my boyfriend? No. it's like it's like we have a dog, we've owned a house for 2 years, we have a child.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't we official? No.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, dude.
I do think it's a commitment thing a lot of times, to be honest. And just maybe just not good communication, you know? But also, I feel like in our culture now, so many people like want the ability to like, oh, plenty of fish in the sea, or like see what my options are, because the saying grass is greener on the other side, which isn't true always, by the way. But I think a lot of people feel like that, so they want to keep their options open. Um, in open relationships and like polyamory is very real, present thing. People can do that healthily. Sometimes they don't. A lot of times they don't, but you can. So I don't know. Anyways, sorry.
No, no, I got you. I got you. You got it. But yeah, there's again, there's so many layers. It's the social. Everything's a social construct. Everything's what they wanted to believe and whatever. It's just,
Yeah,
uh, I'm
I
over
think.
here like you said. There's so many fish in the sea. I'm over here like these goddamn fish. Where are they?
Well, I feel like part of it too, though, is that people want a label for everything and they want to
Yes,
be able to very
yes.
specifically define what this feeling is. So that's why they come up with
Mm.
these terms. So even though it's like, oh, we're kind of in a relationship, instead of having to like, no, it's a situationship. Like, I feel like people have gotten over the years way more like, I need a very specific label and definition so I know exactly what it is. I don't want
Yes,
to leave it
yes.
open to interpretation.
Where's that? Where's the girl group talk? Yes, snap. That's me right here listening and be like, yeah, people want it. You, yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head right there, Blue. I agree with that sentiment completely. Oh
Very
my god.
demure, very
Oh
mindful.
my god. Not the demure. Oh my god. Oh man. But yeah, good question, Kane. Good question. Fish or friend, not food. Yes, exactly. So like along those lines, right? So we'll rewind it a bit, right? So that goes like all on the Twitter feed and stuff like that, and drama and all that other stuff. For you, and you said you reply to a lot of VCT, and you're a
Mhm.
very social person. Like now I'm tying it back. Um, what really got you motivated or like as a person even growing up to be like a sociable person? Is it something that you just found yourself doing? Was it like, I don't know how deep of a question this is, we don't have to make it deep, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, it
Um.
just naturally happens. Are you an introvert that
Uh.
somehow is really
Yeah.
good at fooling people that you're an extrovert? I don't know.
Fooling people.
Like,
Yeah, it's all my childhood I'm just kidding.
oh
I'm really
shit,
just kidding.
oh shit.
No, 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 no,
It
no,
got
no, no,
real.
no, 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 no. So I've always been a very sociable person.
Mm,
Like my parents will say, like, yeah, we'd walk down the street and you'd always be waving at strangers and saying hello. Like I did tweet about this because it was like someone who's like, I'm a writer and I'm looking for like the stupidest way people have gotten injured. Please tell
mhm.
me your story so I can like I don't know, have ideas. And I did reply to this and I was like, my dumbest story if I ever got injured. And I actually have like more than one, but this was one of them. I was skiing and there was a guy sitting on the hill and he was just sitting there and I thought to myself, 5-year-old child brain, I'm like, "Oh, he looks so sad. I wonder if he's okay, if everything's all right." Or so anyways, I was like, "I'll go check on him." I hit him. My ski broke. It
Oh,
sliced my leg open and
oh.
I had to get stitches. he was fine, you know, he was all good, thank God, because I hit him. But it was like just because I wanted to be friendly and ask if he was okay. It was like basically because I was a social butterfly and an extrovert that I got injured.
Mm,
So
mm.
yes, I have always been. Oh, sorry, my model froze. I have always been pretty extroverted. I do have my own version of like anxiety because everyone does, regardless of how much of a social butterfly you are.
Of
But I
course.
find it very easy to talk to people and get to know them, and I like getting to know more about them and chatting about like their job or what they're passionate about, like what games they like to play. I also didn't mention this in my introduction, but I do some career coaching stuff too. Um, yeah, and I'm an ENFJ for Myers Briggs, so that might explain a lot.
Very nice, very nice. It's funny because people say people will talk about their Myers Briggs. I'm over here like 4 letters. Yes, I forget which ones are what.
You should do yours because
No, I have
out of
mine. I
all the
just don't
personality
memorize it.
tests, okay, well, out of all the personality tests, it's like the most accurate. I feel like that's not like bullshit,
Okay, here, let me
and
find it.
like isn't just like, oh, this could be describing anyone. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Let me find it. I know exactly which I my I was in a server with our friends. Half the server's Canadian, half the server's from California. Um,
Oh,
and we have a list of all our Myers Briggs and our like our majors and our stuff.
oh
And
wow.
okay, I am a what is this? What did you say you were?
I'm an ENFJ.
T or A dash after.
E. Oh, dash after. What was the two options again for that?
So
It's like
T is turbulent. A is I forgot what A was.
I'm probably T. I'm probably turbulent.
See, this is okay. See, you know what's funny? I'm the exact same as you.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
yeah.
I was gonna ask actually. I was like,
Uh,
you might
mm,
be because we're, you know. Anyways, that's
see,
hilarious.
see, this is funny. This is funny because see now this is even more hilarious because the title on the website they call it the protagonist. I wasn't a protagonist. I think
Oh yeah.
when I was growing, yes, twinsies, blue. This is why orange
Woo!
compliments blue. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
We're not
Um,
opposites in this case. We're twins. Woo!
woo. Um, uh, because out of that whole server, right? There was one other person who got very similar to mine, but instead of a dash T, it's a dash A. Um,
Okay.
at the end. But then I connect with them on a level like maybe very few other people in the server are like, and it's funny because when I meet someone that I know I'll vibe with, that's why like I reach out to them, I like talk to them, and like I vibe with them super super hard, and I'm like, Blue gives me this vibe. I have this
Mhm.
vibe. She's a competitor. She's social. She's this. I'm just like yes, my people.
Yes. No,
Yes.
that's so funny because I was like, I kind of had a feeling, you know, like when we were talking about it, like I don't know, and I'm like, I'm gonna get. I bet it's the same. It's Spider-Man meme.
Yeah, it's like oh yeah, ENFJ. Oh man, that's awesome. Collab win? I don't know. Maybe who soon? I don't know. Blue's busy. I'm gonna just.
Aren't we collabing right now? Isn't this technically a collab?
This is a collab.
Like,
Yes. Uh, but that's really cool. So dang it, I had this question and then I spaced. Oh no, it wasn't a question. So like I said, I wasn't always like the protagonist. I wasn't always ENFJ. I've taken the test like every 3 to 4 years because they'd be like, oh, you should take it every so often. And
mhm.
every time I've taken it within those 3 to 4 year gap, I've always changed. And I feel like right now, I definitely do resonate a lot with the protagonist stuff. And I look back at my old persona, I was like, oh yeah, I was like that, but I don't like doing that stuff anymore. Or like I've changed the experiences, yada yada. I'm just like, so for you, were you always ENFJ, or how many times have you taken the test?
I feel like I've always been ENFJ, and I've probably taken it like 3 or 4 times in my life.
Hmm. Mm.
I don't know, but yeah, yeah.
See, this is where I've evolved into what we've become today. So it's okay. This one's always been peak. Blue's always been
Hell
peak.
yeah.
Hell yeah. I should probably take the test again. Yeah, I would say if you haven't taken it in a couple years, I would say recommend to take it. But that's so interesting. Okay. So now that we've gone on a similar page, now I feel like there's a little bit of small lore, not VTuber wise, but how I came across you and how we ended up being on a podcast together. So
Did we? Cause like I don't remember. I like legit forgot.
see
So
this
I'd
is
love to hear this.
this is why. This is exactly why. Because I feel like for you it's a different perspective
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
this is a very indirect type of way where I was like, okay, type I'm gonna just look out and meet people. Small story, not a big story. So for those who don't know, that are new to my channel, I am a shoutcaster, right? And I ended up, long story short, friend of a friend of a friend recommended me for this tournament and for VTubers because they were all VTubers. It was a league tournament. I was like, yeah, I shoutcast league. I popped off in the broadcast. I met a bunch of people, and that was the first ever tournament of that org, and it ended up being XCOM. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, so then I became, the OG broadcaster, the head of broadcasting, still part of it, was still doing stuff. And I was like, cool, League. Are we doing other tournaments and stuff? They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna be doing Valorant. I'm like, shit, now I gotta learn how to shoutcast Valorant. Because it's like I've shoutcasted CS:GO before. Overwatch I've tried.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is a
yeah.
absolute mess of a shoutcast game. I'm never doing Overwatch again. Um,
Oh wow. That bad, huh?
okay, it was, to be fair, it was Overwatch 1 when there was 6v6 and
Okay.
the game was super fast paced. So maybe I can do Overwatch 2 if they don't bring 6v6 again. But anyways, the XCOM, they were like, we're going to do Valorant. I'm like, okay, cool. It's like, oh, we got sponsorships. Neat. That's awesome. And then what I like to do after the tournament, I like to see, like, especially the streamers, I like to follow
Stock.
them on, huh?
Stock.
No, maybe I don't know. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. I like to just stare at them without following and just being quiet in their chat, and I'll message them out of the blue. Hey, I heard you like this. I'm just no. Um, yeah, I start following people and be like, oh yeah, I was the shoutcaster, or I played against your team, but usually it's just because I was shoutcasting. And I'll just go down the list of the server of people who have the tag of the recent tournament or the VTuber tag in the server. I went, who's this person? Blue. I was like, wait, why? Their staff? They have like a staff tag? They're like a sponsor coordinator or something. I went, oh, they're a streamer. They're okay. I'll stop by. I'm like, oh, she sponsored got gamer sub codes. You got it.
Yeah, I got them gamers up codes. I got them.
I so, weird flex, but okay. I'm just kidding.
I got those by doing the sponsoring networking. Just saying they were earned.
They were definitely earned, most definitely. So then, what happened was I just stopped by Blue's channel, and I'm like, "Hey, something XCOM," and then Blue. See, this is where Blue doesn't remember. He was like, "Oh, are you playing XCOM?" She's like, "Oh, I didn't play an XCOM, but I was helping out." And I'm like, "Oh, you did the sponsorships?" You're like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm the shoutcaster. I'm the broadcaster guy." You're like, "Oh, cool," and then you continue to play Valorant. And then I just showed up in your channel. Yeah, I just showed up
I
in your
do
channel more
remember that
often.
now.
So
Yes.
yeah, and now I'm just like, cool. And same thing, the social anxiety of maybe like, oh, bigger streamer with more
Aw.
people in chat, and um I'm just like, is it fair for me to like isolate this conversation a little bit in their own chat, and I'm just having like talking here and there, and then I just show up more often and see what happens, and Blue's cool, and when streams are a little bit slower, I'm like, okay, now I don't feel bad to strike up a
Oh yeah.
conversation, so which is really
No.
cool.
I see. That's the vibe that I love in my community, in my chat, where people can just come in and be like, "Hey, what's good? How's your day going?" It's like, "Oh yeah, you said you were interviewing for that job. How's it going?" You know what I mean? Like I just
Yes.
have those conversations with people. while still gaming. And then sometimes I do feel bad when I'm like really in deep in a ranked game and I'm like, oh shit, like chat, I am locked in, but I'm bottom fragging, but I'm locked in, I swear.
Oh
So
no.
yeah, so don't ever feel bad. And I think that's the same for like anybody's chat, unless maybe it's like a really, really big streamer's chat. But I generally feel like any streamer, and I'll say like on the smaller end, but I still think that's like what 300 or less, if even maybe a little bit more. I'm like people are just happy to have conversation in their chats
Mm.
and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I do. It's like Nerf, you were there. You remember this? You remember our meeting? You remember when I first showed up in Blue's chat?
Nerf is a
Uh,
VIP in my chat and a regular though. He
mm,
did disappear for a little bit because of life and touching grass. But I
mm.
wouldn't be surprised. He probably remembers everything.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But yeah, that was me. I am.
Yeah, you basically are.
Yeah, I think of it as a cafe, nice and cozy. There we go. Here we go.
Yeah, we got those cafe vibes too. When I first started doing my career coaching stuff, I called it career cafe actually, but then someone else legit had that already, and I was like, oh shit, I guess I better change it. So now we're career clutch. Yeah, gonna clutch it up like my Valo games. Sometimes I clutch it
Nice.
up.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get more actually into the Valorant casting as well. Like I did cast one tournament one time, but it was hard. It's
I mean,
like
I mean,
actually
if
hard.
you're doing play by play, I think it's definitely hard. But I feel like,
Well, so I was the color caster actually, I think.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
which we didn't like even talk about it before. Like I didn't know my person partner or whatever. And like when we got into it, I'm like, I don't know which one I am. And then they kept doing the play by play, and I'm like, I guess I'm the color caster.
oh man. Okay. And then how'd that go? You're just like, this is hard. You just couldn't talk about the game. You couldn't settle into a rhythm.
I mean, I think it was okay. Like once I figured out, okay, I'm not supposed to be the one talking during the rounds because it was awkward. Because I was like, when is he gonna stop talking? Like when do I get to talk? You know what I mean? Because you know you're like in the moment and you don't want to interrupt each other. But I was like, fuck, man, like what am I doing? And then
Ye-
like once I understood, like, okay, yeah, I'm supposed to be doing the analysis and thing, like, okay, they got their ults and like, look, they're looking like they're gonna go B and that's really good with these ults because blah 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 blah. I was like, yeah, I can provide that insight. It was just like we didn't have a conversation beforehand, so I had no idea what I was
Oh.
doing. Um, so yeah, I'm not obviously a pro by any means. Like I'm not fucking Pansy or Hypoc or Brandon Sideshow, but like
I,
it was pretty good, you
yeah, I
know?
wish I
Like
were them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Probably Nerf because I think that was the only one that I actually did end up casting. And I've wanted to cast others and I've had the opportunity to. It's just again my schedule has been so
Schedule.
crazy. Where I'm like, yeah, no, I'm sorry I can't commit to that. Or like I know I could ask, like, for example, with XCOM if I want to be like, yeah, hey, I'm down to do that. Um
Yeah, just talk to me. I'll bring you on.
yeah, Neon will
You
hook
can
me up.
cast with me. I'll personally be like, I want Blue as my color caster.
Yeah, yeah. And then I'll disappoint you, but it's
No,
fine.
no, no shot, no shot. We're gonna have like the best time casting. I already know. It's like when I know, because not only do I like we vibe, right, personality wise, we cool. I already know you're good
We're
at the
the same
game.
person.
We're
We're
twins.
literally the same person. Yeah.
Just
Now,
figure.
oh my god, who was the tournament for? Do you remember, Nerf? Like, who was the organizer? Because I feel like I forgot.
Yeah, but Nerf
Yeah, I forgot.
is Young Pop. Oh yeah, but yeah, Nerf is that. Nerf is right. Remembered it perfectly. It was during a TDM, and it was chill.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
This was when Blue was like
Yeah.
making friends with an enemy Phoenix on the other team, and they were just like dancing around in
Oh.
the corner. I'm like, yeah, this is a great time.
Yes, and I was playing KO on Drift.
Yeah.
Yes, I
That
remember
was it.
now
That's the
because
stream.
I was because I think I clipped it because it was so funny when we were doing the sprays and then it was like Oh, it was doing the
It was
spray for like
the
the
skin,
Tinder
right?
gun.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah, yeah,
skin,
the
and you
skins.
like either pressed if you liked it or you didn't like. I remember now. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes,
And then I got
yes.
really upset because my teammate killed him, and
Yeah,
I was
that's
like, "What
no
the?"
stream. That's the stream. That's the exact stream.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I remember now. I
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah, that's the
Those were the
stream.
days.
Those were the days for sure. I'm just like that was like I would say that's roughly is that a year ago already, or am I just thinking? No,
What?
no, I
No,
don't.
it can't be.
It's either a
Because
year
there's
ago.
Drift. No, no, no. Drift came out like February of this year.
Okay, so then it was
Be
6 months ago, then roughly less than 6 months ago. That's right, because it was for the second tourney that we got sponsored. The first Valorant tourney didn't have sponsorships. That's right. So
yes, yeah. Because yeah, Min hit me up being like, "Hey, are you interested in helping with XCOM?" And I was like, "Yeah, yes. Like, what should I do? Like, in what way? You know?"
yeah,
Um.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it ended up working out.
All right. See
Oh,
now. Oh, go ahead.
I found the clip. I found the clip. Hold on.
Oops.
Giving opinions on gun skins in TDM.
Okay, you
Hold
can
on.
post
I'm
it in the
gonna.
VC chat or the Valorant chat, the general. You just post it wherever or DM doesn't matter.
I was so intent on the skin.
Okay. Okay, we'll watch that in the post podcast show for real. That's our content right there.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's so good.
Okay, what were we talking? Oh, like how we met
Yeah.
and XCOM. Yeah, I gotta find. God, doing cold outreach is so hard times because I'm like, hey, you want to give us money? And then I'm like, yo, we're kind of not quite in a recession, but these companies, they don't have money. So I'm like, man, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what to do. Anyways,
It's
I'm not
fine.
gonna continue
Dis-
talking about that right now. But yes,
discount codes. Let's go.
yeah, you
uh,
got like those $15 credits, gamer subs. You know, get yourself a tub, maybe half a cup. You know.
exactly.
Oh
Exactly.
yes, it was. It was the invitational. Yep. Actually, that person who was running that tournament, I met them at VCT in LA Champs last year.
Oh, dang.
And
That's tight.
I was cosplaying as Killjoy, and then they're like, "Hey, can we get a picture with you?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then he saw me tweet about it, I think, and
Mm-hmm.
then he's like, "Oh my god, are you the Killjoy cosplayer?" We just took a picture with him, like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Oh my god, like what a small world kind of thing." And then he's like, "Yo, do you want to be part of the tourney?" And I'm like, "Sure." So that's
Nice.
how that happened.
All right.
Yeah.
This isn't me like clout chasing, but if you have tournament hookups, they need a shoutcaster. Let me know. Let me know.
Oh my god.
I get
Yeah,
paid
I
in exposure.
wish. Yeah, I know. That's how I am too. I've tried to do that for an org. I'm like, hey, you don't even need to pay me. Like, just let me,
Yeah,
exposure.
I
Like it's
feel that.
good.
Exactly.
It's
Welcome
all
back,
good.
Kane. But yeah, that's so interesting. Cause the reason why I know like we'd be a good if we were to cast with me in particular, I'm like, I do play by play. I'm pretty confident in it. But I also I recently casted this tournament, right? Like I've said this like 3 times. But there's other casters that are in the tournament. I'm like, bro, you're the play-by-play. You're not letting your color caster talk, bro. Let them talk.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
that's like one of my pet
I
peeves. I'm
know.
like, this is an ebb and flow of conversation and gameplay. You gotta give them some room.
Absolutely. And I
Oh,
feel like I've learned a lot about that because of VCT.
mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I got to meet so many awesome people in champs VCT. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking about going to Toronto Masters.
Oh,
Thinking
let's
about it.
go. When is that?
It's next year at some point, probably around June.
Damn, a
It's like
year.
when
That's
the
over a year
second
from now.
Masters was. Yeah,
Okay.
but like they announced the location. Maybe Masters Thailand, Masters Toronto in Canada, and then VCT champions will be in Paris. Paris.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Paris. Nice.
So just like the Olympics. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Cuz
Ray Gun, where you at?
well, it's really interesting because LCS is usually like in a place, and then the next year VCT champions is like they did that with LA and they did that with Korea, and then this year LCS is in England. So I was like, oh, it's gonna be in England. France is pretty close, I guess.
I feel like France is a good choice though. Um, French crowds in esports are insane. So I can only imagine that that's gonna go wild for
Yeah, but
next year's
like the
champions.
I just hear that the French Valorant players are just such pieces of shit that like, you know what I mean? Not
For
like the not like Carmine Core or anything, but like just in ranked in EU.
oh,
Like if you're French, like you're dick. I've just heard that consistently. Like
uh,
an actual complete asshole. Like I've had someone who's come into my chat recently being like, "Yeah, if you are commenting at all, like as soon as they heard your voice in
mhm.
EU, like they would be super toxic and just throw because you're a woman." And I'm like, "Great."
Oh my goodness,
Wonderful.
that's rough.
Yeah.
Oh yikes, big
Yeah.
yikes.
Yeah.
Oh
I
man.
have heard EU's toxic. I mean, I have played a couple ranked games in EU because I was like five stacking with some friends who are like in EU.
Hmm.
But like, yeah, didn't really talk. Or I guess not just five stacking, but like just
A
being
couple
friendlies. Cause
randos in
I
there.
got nervous. I was like, I've heard such terrible things. Like I don't
Not the horror stories of EU.
Yeah. I mean, even the Carmine Core fans though, they can be a little toxic, I think.
Mm,
But
gotcha. All
it's
right.
all good.
Who do you have a particular team or player that you follow in
Yes.
VCT?
Yes.
Who? Whomst?
So my favorite team is Fnatic, but
Okay.
I also really like Sentinels, NRG. Love this year because I love Calm. Calm's a big player for me because he's also Korean.
Hmm.
Um, where I'm like, yeah, Korean American, let's go.
Let's go.
And I like, I'm like, maybe it's weird, but like I interact with his dad a lot on Twitter. Like sometimes because I interact with him and he'll respond to me, like some of my following me will show up on Papa Com's timeline and he'll respond and I'm like, "Oh shit, like why are you here?" You know what I mean? Like
That's so
um
funny.
I actually got a selfie with him after Champs in LA last year. So, yeah. I don't know. I love all the storylines for VCT. They do such a great job with those narratives.
Hmm.
Um yeah. Whether or not Paper X is still a good team is very subjective. It depends on the day, Kane. Unironically, like they've been eliminated from champs, so their season's over. Like they can be like the best team other times, the worst team. It's like
Yeah,
it's crazy.
a streaky org, and last year's
Yeah,
champions too. They're like the wild card team. So
they really are.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
don't.
I
It's.
mean,
Hmm.
it was heartbreaking to see Paper X lose. Last year. But I did want Ichi to win. I felt really bad, but I was like, oh, NA, and then Lucio and Calm, and they seem like Njagamo, and I don't know. So I felt bad because those pictures of like Jing crying and stuff because he thought it was gonna be his last like year of competing for a while because of
Hmm.
military service. It was so sad.
Oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're good on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Sundays. Yeah, something like that, Kane.
They do
uh,
have something on their team.
exactly. They do that. They do. Uh,
Glass Cannon Op Gecko.
it's interesting because it's like I've only recently got slightly more into VCT, and the reason was because Champions was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Watched the run of Sentinels in Madrid. Um, that
Yeah.
was really fun. Like as an America's team, because I don't follow Valorant like that. Like I wasn't a big Valorant fan or player. Like like I said, I'm like level 30 whatever in the game. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it's for me, it's like my education to learn about the game to be better at
Yeah.
shoutcasting. Like
And
it's
the
me studying.
casting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when it comes
I also
along with
love
it, just all the
Genji.
stories. Yeah. Just the players, the plays, just everything. I'm like, yo, this is awesome. So then when they talk about the narratives and the storyline, I'm like, yo, this is pretty hype. The
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
storyline.
they actually have like full production for it too, where they're like, look at these teams and their rivalry.
It's such a riot thing to
Like, I'm
do,
doing
though.
this for my mom, or like doing this for my because Calm's the only like surviving player from EG last year, so he's the last remaining champ basically.
Hmm.
So it's like I'm doing it for my former teammates. It's just stuff like that, and you're just like, oh, it gets you in the feels, man.
it
And
really
grand
does.
finals is this weekend, so
That's exciting
yeah.
to watch. Yeah. It's for me because I wasn't into VCT like that, right? I'm like, and I know especially when Valorant first started its pro scene, it was a lot of CS players coming over to try it
Mhm.
out. So then
Yep.
for me, I didn't really have a team because my org no longer the org I support no longer exists. I'm a big CLG fan. Yeah, good wrist and pepperonis.
Oh.
Um,
Yep.
and they no longer exist. They stopped having teams, yada yada. So I'm just like, I don't know who to support. It's like I know all these other orgs. Like, oh, there was like 100T, they were popping off. Sen was a new org. Cloud9 had a team, TSM had a team. They had like questionable stuff, but all at the beginning. But then I was like, I stopped playing Valorant. I stopped touching Valorant for like a year and a half. So I didn't know what happened. And then I'm just like, I got into shoutcasting into League just last year, which was the same time last year's champs was happening. And I'm like, oh, EG. I was like, I know that org. I was like, wait a minute.
Mhm.
I know I know some of these players. These are some names I've seen before. I'm over here like, oh, Ethan. He was on CLG. Potter's their coach. She was CLG Red. I'm rooting for EG now. I'm like, I was just
Yeah.
player biased and stuff like that. And now that I watch VCT, I'm just like, I'm just gonna root for the America's team. So right now I'm just like, oh yeah, go Sen. So just a bandwagon on top of the region stuff. So, but yeah, like you said,
Well,
it's
Lev is America's too, but Latam. So,
LatAm, yeah.
but they still got America's players. They
That
have AssPass,
mm-hmm.
Incom.
And calm. Yeah, and calm. Oh man. And okay, one more story. So similar to you, right? Like, oh, people asking out and like replying. One of my
Mhm.
friends, he's a big Argentinian guy. Like he's all about
Yeah.
Argentina, like the soccer teams, especially, and like Messi fan. So then he's a big FPS guy. So he plays Valorant and stuff, and he starts reaching out to orgs, or it's not reaching out to orgs. He's like he follows a bunch of orgs and players, and he's like, oh, he floated around a couple teams, but he wasn't like a diehard fan. So then Crew came out, and even though I think
Oh yeah.
they're owned by an Argentinian, I think, even though the players none of them are Argentinian.
Messi.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he just starts replying. He was like super diehard fan on the internet. And when they came to like LA and stuff, or like every stuff he was in the area, they're like, hey, we got a couple free tickets. Do you want to come? So they invited him as a diehard fan to like the events. He got to know the roster and the coach and like the owners and stuff. It's like, yo, that's sick. You're like cool with the org, like on a first name type of basis. That's cool as hell. For a fresh young org, like Crew is really awesome too, to reach out to their fans like that. So that's just a little esports fan interaction, that like wholesome things that my friend experienced for the past year and a half. So that's really awesome. So
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Yeah, because like I actually have some interesting people following me in the esports scene as well that I'm like, why? But like DRX's CEO, for example, we're mutuals on Twitter.
mm-hmm.
And like when I went to champs last year, he offered me some free seats even though I'd already bought them. So it's like fuck, to like DRX's games.
Uh-huh.
And he also got me a signed autographed like thing from them. And it
Oh
like said to
damn.
like to Paran and like whatever, and it was just awesome. It was like, whoa, that's fucking sick.
Yo, that's so
So
cool.
yeah. So I do have very cool mutuals, and like the voice actor for Chamber were on Twitter. So
Dang. That's cool.
yeah.
I
Hugo
respect
is
your grind
awesome.
and your friendships, your connections, Blue.
But yeah, I got a lot of weird connections in weird places, so you never know.
You
I
say
mean, it's the same for anybody, right? Small world.
you say weird, a lot of people would say awesome. But I guess depending
I
on the
mean,
context. I mean, like if you talk about
they're
friggin'
both.
Com's dad, that one's a weird one. But
Well, Zekken's mom and I are mutuals. And like Boostio's mom and I are mutuals. You know what I mean? Where like I just followed them and they followed me back for some reason. I'm like, why are you following me? Like
oh
I
my.
don't get it, but like, yeah, it's cool.
Okay. Well, it's
You
been
want to slay? Let's slay. Sorry.
oh. Okay. Well, it's been rough. It's been over an hour and a half. We'll wrap up this episode. And Blue, thank you for being
It
on.
has been rough. That's what you just said. You said it's been rough.
Is that what I said?
Yes,
I
it
see.
is.
Oh, it might have cut
Clip
out.
it and ship it, chat.
I
Clip
th-
it and ship it.
No, I thought it's been roughly an hour and a half. It might have cut out. I don't know. I might be lagging.
It
Okay,
cut out.
it
You
cut out.
100%. It's been rough.
Okay, it's been rough. I was like, what? You think this? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I might be lagging. I'm losing so many frames right now. I need to
Oh,
restart my thing
God.
before I start gaming again later.
That's so funny.
Okay, but it's been a pleasure to have you on, Blue. I can vouch. You did. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Dang it, dang it. Ah,
I know. I'm sorry. I'm a very difficult.
okay, but no worries. Point is, we'll wrap up this episode, and Blue, for thanks for being here. Let me know if I cut out again. But
Okay.
you're always welcome back onto the podcast. Feel free to self-invite yourself if you give me like a week's notice. Um because so I don't schedule someone on a day that you want to do, because I also have like a gym schedule that I have to work around my podcast too. So if
Oh
you ever want to
wow,
be
gym schedule. Okay, casual flex. I see what's happening.
No, what is that? That's not a flex. I'm just like,
Well, yeah, it's a flex. You go to the gym. It's a flex. I don't go to the gym. Anyways,
sounds like a personal problem to me.
It's a I took it personally. I took that.
Damn it. It's like it's like you want me to flex on you? Like, I'll actually flex on you. You know how much weight I've lost? I'm just kidding.
Oh
Oh
man.
man. Okay.
Oh god.
But yeah, you feel free to always let me know. Be back on the podcast, whether it's you or you want to bring on another guest with you. You now have that permission and to come back to the
Hell
podcast. So
yeah.
you're really awesome. Flex Ninja. Um. But yes, with that said, we're going to head to the post podcast show. This will be posted on YouTube as the VOD, but in the post podcast show, Blue's going to maybe do a Yandere line. I don't know. Up to her. I don't know. But before we, but yeah, an absolute pleasure. But before we close off the episode, Blue, any last minute, lightning round questions, topics, short stories, shout outs you want to do? Up to you.
If I do, I'm gonna keep yapping, so I better not.
Trust me, there's a
Save
time
it for the post show.
It's funny. There have been times where I'll be like lightning round questions, and the podcast went on for like another 25 minutes. I've had that
Yeah,
happen.
I believe it.
Okay, but what yap are you gonna do? I'll let you go. Just do it.
3.141519653589793238462643383299927502884197.
She's flexing on me, guys. She's flexing.
I probably messed up a couple of those digits, but that's it.
See that flex? I can get to like
Yeah.
14159. That's how. Is that even right? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that's better than a lot of people actually. So yeah.
Okay, there you go. How many digits was that, Blue?
40 to 50.
Damn, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And why do you know that?
We had a competition in 6th grade about who could memorize the most digits of pi.
6th grade.
And it was not me. There was a kid who memorized over 130 digits because he made it into a song. Like each number was like a note.
Oh wow. Musical and knows how to do the memorization. Damn it.
Yes, I've thought of a good thing for the post show, but I'm gonna save it.
You want to? What is it?
No, we gotta gatekeep it.
Oh, we're gatekeeping, so YouTube doesn't even know.
We're gatekeeping.
Okay, we're gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Girl boss, was it?
Gaslight gatekeep.
Gaslight gatekeep. There you go. All right. Well, we're gonna leave off with that before we go into the post podcast show. So, Blue, thank you for being on here. If you want to check out Blue and you watch all the way through the YouTube video, which very few people do, comment on why Blue's awesome. So, and check her out. Social's gonna be in the thing and all that good stuff. So, anyways, before we post podcast show,
subscribe to Neon.
No, subscribe to Blue.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, that's it.
My twinsies. Okay, but say Blue, say bye YouTube.
Bye YouTube.